What's up, everybody? We're at South Florida right now, place where I'm staying the next 17 days, and place where I came specially to make contents at the casinos around here. But before we jump to the action, I believe it's time to tell you who I am and how my story connects to Poker Profit channel. If you wanna go straight to poker action, you can jump to this part of the video. My name is Romulo Dorea. I'm 26 years old. I was born and raised in Brazil. This is my family, by the way. I started playing poker when I was 17 years old, and my high school friends were playing poker against each other during lunch. I was always a very competitive kid, and everything I decide to play, I wanna be good at it. And when I first saw poker, it was like love at first sight, cause I saw a game that clearly it had skill into it, and that people around me were making bad decisions. And since the beginning I had positive results at poker. And the reason why was not only because I was okay at the game, but because people around me were just making horrible decisions consistently. And then I started meeting more people from the poker world and understanding more advanced strategies, more tools that I could use to be better at the game. And then I just fell in love more and more and started studying more and more the game. Then when I was 19 years old, my first relevant result at poker came. I won 12,000 reais in this tournament, but I was also making a lot of money into cash game. A year later, I had a great result again, winning 10,000 reais in this tournament. And I started understanding that I had some talent and that those 2 to 3 years that I already played and had consistent results was something tangible to make me see that I had potential to make profit consistently at this game. So I moved to Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil, and the positive results kept happening, and I was winning more than I ever won in my life, with a better bankroll and able to play bigger games. In parallel with that, I always been very good at soccer. And I've seen that in Brasilia, there was an agency that could help me finding a scholarship in a college in the United States. And a big passion of mine in life is soccer. I always played a lot in Brazil and won many things as well. So I knew that I could have the possibility to find a scholarship. And as a side thing from being a student athlete, I could play poker in my free time. So I made the whole process and I found a good scholarship in a school called Prairie State College, located in Chicago. So it was really a dream coming true for me. So I arrived at the US, and then in the 5th game of my season, I tore my ACL. It was the hardest moment in my life. It was shocking to understand that I would have to stay almost a year without playing. But in the end, tearing my ACL was one of the best things that happened to my life. Because not only it taught me a lot of lessons and I really became way more mature, but tearing my ACL gave me more time to play poker. Because I could tell you that I studied for free for a school in the US, but that's not exactly true. Because a student athlete, at least a student athlete that has a lot of scholarship, that usually comes with a lot of responsibilities with the team. And that takes a lot of time and effort. And even with the fact that my coach demanded a lot of responsibilities from me, he allowed me to miss practices, which I wouldn't do nothing, to go play more poker. So my focus for almost a year was physical therapy, poker, and get good grades in the school. Because I was studying economics and I love this topic. So in that year, I had great results playing 1-2 at Horseshoe Casino. If it wasn't for poker and the results I had in the game, my life would be really miserable at that year because I was really sad for not being able to play soccer. But fortunately, I was able to come back in the next year and help the team to be conference and regional champion for the first time in the history of the school. This honestly was the best day of my life. I had a lot of lessons, realizing that failure and success are not opposites but complementaries, and one cannot exist without the other through the process. And my life in the United States was about playing poker, studying, and practice and playing soccer. So I didn't have time for nothing. My social life in the United States was pretty much about my team and the poker tables I played. And all my time was invested on it, and the results were going great, but I felt like there was something missing. I didn't feel as happy as you might think about making money over others. Beating the game made people at the table not liking me so much, and even though that's their problem and not mine, and I was making more money than I ever made in my life, I really wasn't happy. And then COVID came. When COVID happened, I had to stop playing poker, at least live poker. So I came back to Brazil with my family, and I was getting shocked on how the internet was growing and how some poker vloggers were getting tens of thousands of views on YouTube. Poker vloggers that I could humbly feel like I could make such a good job as them or better. So I started studying about the internet and video editing. And in the meanwhile, I started studying more about copywriting, YouTube. So almost in the year and a half I stayed in Brazil, it ended up being a great thing for me again. I wasn't making as much money as I was making in the US, but I was happy that I was with my family, girls that I miss a lot from Brazil, and I was happy, I was healthy, I was playing soccer with my friends, and I realized how life is not only about money. So if money wouldn't make me happy, what else would? So after studying more and more about internet, I realized an amazing thing. The biggest people on the internet and the people I most admire are the people that help and serve as many people as they can. So I asked myself, why not sharing all the knowledge I have from poker after being consistently profitable for more than 9 years to people all over the world and help them have better results at poker. So when I was back to US, I created Poker Profit channel and started recording all my hands. And to be honest with you, now I'm happier than ever. And it's not because of money, it's because I'm seeing that I'm making a difference on other people's lives. And this definitely fulfills me. And now I see that instead of taking money away from other people, I can help you, the viewers, to have better results at poker and have more money with you. And don't get me wrong here, I'm gonna totally still play poker and still make money out of other people. But in this channel, I'm able to give it back. I'm able to leave valuable knowledge for the world and be proud of the work I do here. I am proud of the history we're building in this channel, and that someone in the other side of the globe, or my neighbor here in the US, they both can take advantage of my content and improve, not only in poker, but in life in general. Because I believe this game is a great school about life, entrepreneurship, and risk-taking. So now I'm all in this project. I drop out school, and I'm not gonna be an economist anymore, but I'm gonna be myself, and I'm gonna do my best so I can make this channel have the best poker content in the world. And if I really become good at this, it means I'm impacting your life for the better. And that's genuinely what I hope to do. So now I'm traveling throughout the US, playing poker and uploading content for this channel. So if you feel this content might help you, subscribe to the channel. And you don't need to do that for me, do it for you. And most likely, the more I help you, the more I will grow. So don't forget to hit the like as well, and let's go to the episode. Here we go again. What's up everybody? Today's episode is gonna be on HardRock Hollywood. Most likely the most beautiful casino I have ever visited in my life. And here we are. This is the spot at the casino I'm most interested about it. The game seems to be great. It's a Thursday afternoon. I buy in for 500. The first hand I get pocket sevens on the small blind. Under the gun raises to 15. Most likely I'm gonna just call here. But then the middle position raises to $50. And here, in my opinion, it's an easy open fold, and that's what I do. Second hand I get ace king offsuit from the middle position. Under the gun +1 raises to 15. I'm gonna 3-bet here for sure. I 3-bet to $45. I wanna play this hand in position against him, and I want him to call with the hands that I'm dominating, such as king queen, king jack, king 10, ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, etc. He calls. The flop comes ace 10 jack rainbow. He checks to me. I'm losing for some combinations of hands, but that's not enough of a reason for me not to bet for value. I bet 40, little less than half of the pot. He calls. The turn is a good one, a 10 of spades. I'm gonna keep betting for value here, but his effective stack is 180. SPR is almost 1-1, and I believe shoving would represent as much strength as betting small. So I decide to put him all in, and he folds. Next hand I get pocket 9s on the button. Hijack raises to 20. I believe 3-betting is way better than just calling here, and that's what I'm gonna do most of the times. So I 3-bet to $60, everybody else folds, and then when the action gets to him, he doesn't think for too long and decides to 4-bet to 160, which honestly represents a lot of strength from his part. It was the second time I 3-bet in a short period of time, so he could be trying to exploit me by 4-betting a bigger range. But this sizing of 160, it just feels so inviting for me. I have no relevant information about him, so here I believe calling or folding are two acceptable plays. But here if I call, I'm gonna mostly be calling to set mine. And I know I'm gonna hit my set 1 every 8 times. So I would call $100 more for a pot that has 227 and I have around $500 in my stack. So best case scenario here, I would call $100 to get 727, which would be a little more than 1 every 8 times. So even though I think he could have ace king in his range, I think the best decision here was to be disciplined, respect the fact that he 4-bet me in a small size, fold and go to the next hand. I buy in for 200 more, next hand I'm in the big blind, everybody folds to the small blind and we chop, and then I see aces.
Nice. I always struggle.
Yeah, me too. No mind.
Kind of tilting, but it happens. Next hand I'm in the middle position with ace queen offsuit. I open raise to 20. A woman on my left calls the 20. She is short stacked. We go heads up to the flop. The flop comes 7-9-3 rainbow. And I think a big mistake here is not c-betting, because most likely this board missed both of us. I c-bet 30, she calls. The turn is a 7, which most likely didn't hit none of us. I check, she checks back. The river comes a 6 of clubs. I check, and she goes all in for $40. I gotta call $40 for a pot that has 147. I need to be right around 22% of the times here, so this call is profitable. And I feel like sometimes she could be bluffing here. Most of the times I will still be losing, but I decide to call and see what she has. And she shows 10-8 suited, making a straight in the river. Next hand I have pocket 10s in the middle position. I raise to 25 now, because I was getting a lot of callers in my left. So I decide to raise the sizing. The same player calls again. Everybody else folds. We're heads up again. The flop comes queen 6-4 with 2 diamonds. Most likely I'm still winning here. I bet $30 to extract value from worse hands than mine and to protect my equity. She calls. The turn is a deuce of diamonds. I have a pair and a flush draw now, but she could already have the flush. So I decide to check. She bets $40, which I think it's an easy call from my part here. So I call. The river comes a 5 of hearts. I check again and she goes all in for 75. The 5 is a pretty bad card. 7-8 gets there, 6-5 gets there. Some combination with the 3 gets there. She could already have the flush in the turn. So even though I would love to be able to call and see what she has, I think this would be a bad decision. So after thinking for a while, reasoning all the things I just told you so, I decided to fold and she shows ace 3 of spades.
Is that a straight? Thank you.
I wonder why she called in the flop, but that's fine. I'm glad I made the correct fold in the river. Next hand I have pocket 9s in the under the gun.
Raise.
I raise to 25 again. The same woman calls again, which is fine. I wanna play against her. Everybody else folds until the big blind decides to re-raise to 110. He seems like a good player, and I know that a good player knows that her range is pretty wide here, because she was calling every time I raised. So he could be doing that with a wider range that justifies me to call with pocket 9s here. But even with those reasons, I still think it's better to fold here with pocket 9s. But I don't think calling is a horrible play as well. Effective stack is mine, which is 495. So I will have to call 85 for a pot that has 167 already. And there could be a good chance that she calls as well in position, even though her stack was not that big. So after thinking for a long time, which provides some information for the 3-better, I decided to call and see a flop. She folds. We're playing heads up. The flop comes Jack 8-4 with 2 hearts. I have the 9 of hearts, and then he c-bets to 125. I think this spot is really close. I'm beating ace king and ace queen that he has in his range. And when I see myself in such a close spot like this, I will fold some of the times and I will call other times. And here, because I have the 9 of hearts, I will tend to call when I have this card, because at least I have the chance to make runner flush draw, which is a very small chance, but it's 2-3% that I'll take it. But again, I still think the best way to play this hand here was to fold pre-flop, but after thinking for a long time again, I decided to call. The turn comes a 4, which is a blank, doesn't change nothing. The pot has 502 and I have around 270 in my stack. SPR is really low and I'm pretty much committed to this pot. He bets 225. I'm not feeling great in this spot. I usually avoid to put myself in situations like that. You won't see that happen so often. But here, after thinking for a while, feeling committed to the pot, I decided to take my chances and go all in. He calls.
Hopefully you have ace king, but I don't think so.
Aces?
No. If you ask king aces, you have kings, I guess.
He shows queens and it's good. Later on, I discovered that he's Brazilian just like me.
For the jack?
I'm out.
I decided I'm done for today. Pretty bad session. I feel I could be more patient and disciplined here. Calling that pocket nines pre-flop was a mistake, but overall we all have sessions like that and mistakes we do. But I believe the most important part is learning from your mistakes, and even better, learning from others' mistakes, just like mine right here. Even when you're going through a bad and frustrating session, being patient and disciplined still pays off. So that's the takeout I wish to share with you guys here. Thank you for watching vlog number 20 of Poker Profit channel. If you like this episode, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. The mission of this channel is helping you become a better poker player. I hope I achieved that goal and see you next time.